Donovan Mitchell, the new franchise record 71 points.
All right. Donovan Mitchell might just be the most athletic shot creator in NBA history. With a true shooting percentage of 61% on 27 points a night, Donovan Mitchell can use his strong attacking skills to get to the rim, operate effectively getting to his spots in that in-between range, and when stretching the floor, he displays his deep-range sniping ability. Then if need be, he doesn't mind doing some little dirty work to get in the defender's head to make them miss some free throws, and also, he doesn't back down from any smoke coming his way. With this being his first season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell has brought a new feel to this team and is having his way out there on the court on a nightly basis. It's pretty eye-catching to see these crossovers leading to pull-ups from beyond the arc, and even if he's not scoring, he can dime up teammates with one of these fancy passes, causing the crowd to drop those oohs and ahs. Now, I'm not sure if it's because it doesn't get views or what, but it seems like not many people are really talking about Donovan Mitchell. But over here in this community, we must appreciate what's happening all around the league and dive deep into how certain players are affecting the game. Donovan Mitchell is decimating defenses this season in every which way, which in turn has elevated this Cavs team to 4th in the Eastern Conference, and with the schedule they have to finish the season compared to the 76ers, they definitely could find themselves ending the season as the 3rd seed. When you walk into the arena as the opposing team, from the start, you have to decide whether or not you're going to make D-Mitch beat you from the outside or if he's going to beat you from the inside. But no matter the route they decide to take, Mitchell has no problem causing stress for the defense all night long. Attacking the basket with bad intentions, Mitchell looks to put defenders in the rim with thunderous dunks, but if not, he is able to get crafty with his finishes around the defense. There's many moving parts to the driving game as you have to be able to attack the rim in many different ways. Just leaning on pure strength will eventually be countered. If you lean on just your speed, well, eventually you'll get slowed down, and just having fancy ball handling skills won't help you finish at the highest level either. What helps you attack the rim and finish at an elite level is when you have all these skills in your toolkit and you can use them at any moment. When we look at Donovan's conversion rate for all driving layups and dunks for the season, he has converted 62% of his 192 field goal attempts so far, and when we break it down a little more to his stats per game, Mitchell drives the ball 12 times a game, and on 6 attempts off these drives, he converts 59% of these. So aggressively attacking the rim, putting pressure on the defense is an effective route for Mitchell to take, as you can see how difficult it is to stop him once he gets a head of steam pushing at you, and out of nowhere he hits you with this spin move, leaving you in the wind to then go finish the layup. Crafty moves, herky-jerky movements, tight ball handling, abrupt changes of pace, all of these things are what lead to Mitchell destroying defenses on a nightly basis, but you must analyze it at its simplest form first, then work your way up to the more complex attacks. At his 36'2", 6'3" frame, Mitchell isn't undersized, but he definitely doesn't have the most favorable matchup most of the time, so using his strength and initiating contact first is a huge skill he has in his bag. Trust me, it's so subtle, but if you pay attention, Donovan will use his off arm closest to the defender on his gather to bump them out the way as he does Giannis here and go finish the lay. It's even worse for the defense if they're not smart enough to get out on him before he can get ahead of steam, or else that slight hit stick gather is even more powerful to grant space, allowing for an easy bucket. Being a slasher is not an easy thing to do because you have to body up with bigs down low often, and it's even more difficult if you're a guard who attacks multiple times a game. Donovan Mitchell can control his body extremely well when met with the bigger bodies at the rim, and when you see him finishing over 2 defenders in the paint despite the contact, this is when you really realize how long of a day you're going to have, as he hasn't even brought out the tricks in his bag yet. As great as Mitchell is at controlling his body and absorbing contact when attacking, the defense will eventually end up stepping out further on him to apply pressure, and it's no secret that Mitchell likes to use those high screens to confuse or get a step on the defender. In all possessions where Donovan Mitchell is the ball handler in the pick and roll situation, he has an effective field goal percentage of 58% on 7 attempts per game and is in the 94th percentile amongst all players that qualify. This just shows you how well he operates once getting a screen, and it's pretty much a field day for Mitchell once he's coming off with an open field. You can see here as Love sets his high screen, Donovan runs kindly off of it, and right as the big is hedging, Mitchell feeds him a slight hezzy to get him to lunge out a bit, and now D-Mitch has the straightaway to the basket and Euros past Vanderbilt for the easy money. When splitting the screens, it takes precise timing, and when you add in the explosiveness Donovan has to burst through the gap, things just get that much more difficult. He's really good at setting up defenders to run into screens as he does against Fox here with the crossover, and once Domas thinks he has Mitchell in his sights, it's actually a quick change of direction, and Mitchell then uses his strength to muscle right into Sabonis and put 2 on the board. You see how it wasn't just splitting the screen in itself, but it was explosiveness, splitting the screen, and the strength. It's so easy to miss out on a lot of these things, but now you can see how compounding all your skills together can give you an even greater advantage over the defense. On this next play, as Mitchell comes up the floor, you can see the abrupt change of pace throwing the in and out at Mathurin, and in a matter of time, he's in the paint euroing around the defense to score the ball. So now as the defense, you're not only threatened by the use of the screen, but now you're also worried about this sudden gear shift Mitchell throws at you, and what sucks the most is you never really know when it's coming. I mean, be honest, tell me D-Mitch doesn't make it look so simple and easy when he's just bursting past the defender to drop in a baby float. And even if he's guarded tight, he can quickly shift one defender, slow down to feed the next a hezzy, and then burst past to go body up with Capella and still finish the bucket. Hey, look here, let's keep it real. It's pretty special, right? If you don't agree, then I really don't know what you're watching, and I honestly think you might just be a low-key hater. Adjusting on the fly like that when multiple defenders come your way is not an easy thing to do, but for Donovan, it's becoming second nature. It's pretty hard to stay attached to Mitchell when he's running you off these screens, and then when you have the threat of him yanking you back with his handle, it really puts you in a tight spot. Now, although the shifty handle and sort of chasing game he plays with defenders around the screens buy him time away from his defender, it doesn't always grant the most space, but Donovan can get really crafty with the handle at times, which can cause the defense to just be lost. This play against the Celtics looks as if Donovan's doing a skills challenge as he pushes Brown right into his screen, slices past Tatum with a quick handle, and as Horford steps up, Mitchell uses the carryover to shift his direction back the other way, and with elegance he lays it in with the left hand. It's like the Celtics are victim to a lot of Mitchell's crafty drives, and here Donovan attacks aggressively off the catch, and once Brown slides over to cut off his angle, D-Mitch just goes into a whirlwind with the spin move through both Brown and Tatum to go grab two more. This is something in Donovan's game that boosts his attacking skills greatly, and by that I mean it's the way he can already be in attacking mode before even receiving the ball. You can see here as he's getting the ball back from Mobley, Mitchell is already setting up this shot fake so he can get Bam to bite, and once he does, it's a push dribble right into an attack, and using that off arm he bounces off Bam to create space and lay it right in. And if you think it's just a coincidence that he did it on that play, well watch as Garland drops it off to Mitchell. He's already getting into that stunt position to burst right past Smart, and like poetry in motion, Mitchell euros Jaylen Brown out the play and finishes the bucket through the contact. It's pretty ridiculous when you slow down and analyze all the weapons Donovan has to pick apart the defense when just attacking the paint. When you take in all of these things and add in that Donovan is gifted with such elite level athleticism, this is why he can be so fluid and convert those acrobatic buckets in close. This type of relentlessness and aggression is needed to make up for the lack of height when attacking, and it also will get him to the lines more time than not if he was to shy away. Right now, Mitchell could possibly be on track to average his highest free throw attempts per game, as in 2020-21, Mitchell shot 6 per game, converting 84%, and so far this season, Mitchell is getting up 5.2 free throws per game and draining them at an 87% rate. So I mean, just imagine, if Mitchell gets to the line maybe 2 more times a game, it'll 1, not only bring up his scoring averages a bit to end the season, but 2, it'll put opposing teams' bigs and even guards into some foul trouble, making the game a little easier on himself and his teammates. You must keep Donovan Mitchell out the paint, or else you just put your whole defense at a disadvantage with all the ways he can cause a breakdown within your system. But even when you do draw up schemes to force him into his shot, well, you're not really going to totally shut down Donovan and derail him, as he has endless ways to score on the floor. The great touch around the rim seeps directly into his shot making from a little farther out, as Donovan is shooting 53% from 8 to 16 feet. It's very imperative as a guard that you become efficient in this range, because sometimes you can't go all the way to the rim, and you might not really have a great look from the outside as well. But by being able to operate in this in-between area, Donovan can get opportunities for these spin-offs into floaters, and when he's in his groove, even if there is contact, unfazed, he'll play through it and get the and one. Not only are these floaters an option, but the mid-range pull-ups come into play as well. It doesn't matter if he's running off a screen to flow right into a pull-up, or if he ties together a handle before rising up, Mitchell can cook the defense with his creative ways of getting to his spots. Now I already know what you're thinking. You're like, this is crazy. D-Mitch can score in many ways, and we haven't even touched on his outside scoring. Well, when we do space it out to his outside shooting, on a high volume of 9 attempts from beyond the arc per game, Mitchell is knocking these down at a 38% clip, really causing havoc from downtown. Now, if you want to use him as an off-ball option, then you can certainly do so, but if you want to use him as a shot creator from deep, well guess what? You can do that as well. When we take it a step further and break down his output from deep a little more, off the catch, Mitchell sinks 36% of his 3 attempts per game, and when pulling up off the dribble, Mitchell is even more effective, shooting nearly 40% on 5 attempts per game. So it's honestly pick your poison when you're dealing with D-Mitch from deep, and whichever shot you force him into taking, he has a good probability of knocking it down. Shooting it that well off the pull-up is something great to see, because that simply means at any time Donovan can take a defender off the dribble and create something for himself from deep range. Every team needs a floor spacer like Mitchell who can really broaden the offense, and at any time he can run the defender off a screen, spot up for the bucket, or he can break down the defender in front of him to rise up and make big shots. This year has really been great for Donovan Mitchell, and if people didn't respect his game before, well they definitely have no choice but to respect it now. On all three levels, Mitchell can pour it in effectively and uplift his team on a nightly basis. We could even go deeper into his rather improved playmaking for the team as a whole, but we can save that for another video. Now, if you made it this far, let me know what player Donovan Mitchell reminds you of the most, and give me a follow on Twitter if you want to see more basketball talk. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like before heading over to watch this Jalen Williams analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.